Developed once again by Reality Pump Studios and published by Topware Interactive, we have Vendetta, Curse of Raven's Cry. Does the name of the game sound familiar? Are you experiencing a sense of deja vu, like I've reviewed something like this before? Well, you wouldn't be wrong. I did review this game back when it was still going under the name of Raven's Cry, and you can check out the review right here. For all you folks who did purchase Raven's Cry via Steam, like I did, or a digital reseller, you can upgrade your copy to Vendetta at no extra cost by providing your details and a proof of purchase in the link in the video description. Story-wise, it isn't much different from Raven's Cry, but for those who haven't seen it, I'll recap. You play as Christopher Raven, a man who's wanting revenge on the pirates that killed his family as a boy, as well as cut off his hand. In an ironic sense, Christopher grows up to become a pirate himself, and his journey for vengeance is renewed when he finds a ship which had been attacked by the very pirates he was looking for. Joined by his Raven companion, Christopher, and you, will spend time sailing around the Caribbean attacking ships and doing odd jobs for money while balancing your crew and trading between ports. In regards to differences between Vendetta and Raven's Cry, the updated version features revised voice acting and game mechanics while introducing new missions, weapons and upgrades. But does the re-release make up for the original shortcomings? Find out in The Good. The voice acting which I mentioned earlier has been revised. A lot of the scenes in Raven's Cry were strangely unvoiced, and these issues were fixed with the release of Vendetta. I'll provide an example of such a scene here.
Perhaps I'm just getting too old for this kind of bullshit. Could be I need a break. Back in St. Lucia, it's just me and my distillery. Same routine day in and day out.
Maybe I'm just getting too old for this bullshit. Could be I need a break. Back in St. Lucia, it's just me and my distillery. Same routine, day in, day out.
While some of the voice actors have been changed, which is unfortunate as I liked Marcus's old voice, at least they've gone to the effort of making sure all the scenes in-game were voiced more consistently, at least for the most part. Like in Raven's Cry, crew and cargo management play a big role in making sure that you're better off, and the game has a good economy system. At all the different ports in the game, Christopher can buy cargo to sell at other ports where demand is high to make profit. However, with upgrades that he purchases for his ship, as well as necessities like cannonballs, boards, cloth and food, it only gives him a limited amount of cargo space. By upgrading the ship, it does take up more room, so you may find yourself having to carefully choose which upgrades to get, as well as how much of each supply is needed. And as Christopher gets different ships over the course of the game, the maintenance and supply costs also go up, but to balance that, so does cargo space. Crew management is also very important, as you need to make sure your crew are well fed and well paid, as well as replenished if they die in battle. After all, a well fed and well paid crew are a happy crew, and you don't want them to get disgruntled, do you? The economy and management system was a part of Raven's Cry that I really liked, and it was a feature I spent quite a bit of time on while playing through Vendetta. The revised game also has some side quests that weren't in Raven's Cry, and although a lot of them required Christopher to go off and kill things or collect things, they provide a very good source of income and experience to make the later sections of the game much easier. Some side quests I even found to be pretty funny, so they were an absolute treat to complete. To top it off, there's places to explore and collect treasure from whilst slaughtering the local native population on the side, and the amount of locations to visit and things to do outside the main story will keep players busy for a few hours. But, with the good, you'll also get the bad. While the game did fix a number of bugs present in Raven's Cry, I was still able to find quite a few bugs and odd things while I was playing. As a matter of fact, the first issue I had was before I could even get to the main menu, which isn't generally a good way to start the game. In regards to the ones I found in-game, I've kindly compiled them into another montage to demonstrate my thoughts on the visual presentation once again. the game did thankfully fix the bug that stopped me from completing Raven's Cry, as well as the one that can potentially lock you out of the main quest, I felt that by fixing some of these bugs, a bunch of new ones popped up. A notable one is that during a scene where Christopher finally meets a person of interest in regards to his revenge, despite playing the game with English voice acting, the entire scene was played out to me in German.
Warte, wenn's Geld geht, ich zahle das Doppelte von dem, was Avery dir verspricht.
Ich fürchte, du verstehst gar nichts, Kensington.
Thankfully, I tend to turn subtitles on, but having an issue like that appear especially this late in the game isn't a good look for it. I found that the story had left me with quite a number of unanswered questions. The main one I had being, why did the pirates responsible for killing Christopher's family go after them in the first place? How does Marcus seem to show up in a number of places? What's up with the abbot in Bridgetown? While questions like these won't keep me up at night, I found that there's little information to answer those questions with. The story pacing, especially in Chapter 4, felt a bit rushed, with events escalating very quickly towards the end of the game. The game doesn't really offer you a huge chance to take advantage of something you get prior to the final quest, unless you avoid going there straight away. And funny enough, when you start the final quest, the quest marker isn't even named. And without giving too much away, I felt that the end of the game was very lacking and could have been handled much better. I also noticed they didn't really fix up the combat. Enemies getting behind Christopher and attacking him still breaks the momentum, and I still found blocking to be unresponsive from time to time. However, once you upgrade your skills and get the right gear, Christopher can become an absolute tank and make the game a piece of cake, where all you need to do is block attacks until you can use your hook to pretty much kill most enemies. While you're waiting for the hook to become available again, you can kick the enemy down for a chance to instantly kill him, or use your Raven to distract the enemy and get a free hit in, which by the time you get the Navy Sword, which has a damage rating of 1300, is enough to kill in a couple of strikes. With the right accessory and hat equipped, Christopher can even have double his maximum health, as well as a fast regeneration speed if it drops past a certain point. This unfortunately removes a lot of the challenge from the game. Another thing which bothered me is that one of the skills that Christopher can learn is to use his Raven to steal from people. However, when the Raven fails to steal from someone, there isn't any consequence for failure. You can even tell the Raven to do it again and it can successfully do it the second time. I think even adding a feature such as if a soldier sees your Raven stealing and returning to you, or if the victim prevents the theft, they could start acting hostile. Other things which also annoyed me were certain NPCs would still appear on the map even if you had completed their quest. This could cause some confusion, especially if you're returning to certain locations after spending time away from it. Tavern music is repetitive and can be heard almost all over the place, which got to the point where I pushed musicians just to appreciate the brief pause. Another one is the inclusion of animals. At certain points in the game, you can be attacked by various animals such as tapirs, crocodiles, jaguars, boars, wolves, and even monkeys. These nuisances are very well known to ruin stealth sections by attacking you and causing it to alert nearby enemies. The animals are also hard to hit given their size too, which can get annoying, especially with monkeys backing away and wolves running around. But I would list the animals as a minor issue. Now that I've cleared that up, I think it's time for me to dish out the opinion. Vendetta, Curse of Raven's Cry admittedly is a much better game than Raven's Cry. The game wasn't as much of a broken mess, and unlike Raven's Cry, I was able to complete it. It's clear to see that the developers have listened to the feedback on the game and have tried to address them, which I can definitely applaud them for. I just feel that the game still has a few bugs and issues that should have been picked up on and ironed out. Admittedly, I did have a fun time playing through the game and I would say give it a go, but when the game goes on sale, not at $49.99 US. So with that, it's time for my rating. Vendetta, Curse of Raven's Cry still gets scurvy out of 10. Vendetta may be the oranges needed to treat scurvy, but you'll need more than just oranges to beat it. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next Infinite Backlog review.